Hey, Muffins here. So I had a subscriber request for a fun challenge to play an entire game only scope mode. So the first game I've got is of me, second game I've got is a subscriber trying it out, and then third match is a 7-on-7 everyone in scope mode just to try it out and just see what it'll look like. Just being in scope mode, it almost kind of gives you a very unique and different perspective in Blitz. I would actually say that this is almost kind of an additional layer you can almost add on in terms of the super realistic mode vid that I did recently is only going from the almost like the sniper view but the in-tank view, just because it's like, yeah, you're just basically, this is kind of the view of being in the tank, which I thought was pretty cool instead of like a camera angle third person hovering above the tank. So to get any sort of perspective or see where the enemy was, I couldn't just like quickly look over with the third person view. Like I had to basically look over in that direction to find out where they were, you know, where my team was. It was really, really hard when doing this to know exactly where people were, but quite fun, honestly. So I am not 100% sure where my team is, and I'm kind of paying attention to these little red arrows here and there. I see there's kind of a group over on the back hill. There's some over here I'm going to try to get over and get. And it honestly almost makes it look much more like this. It's like taking the world of Blitz and then almost turning it into this like first person view, like first person shooter view or something like that. It is quite different, just constantly seeing the map at this perspective instead of, now I'll be honest with you, when doing this, and even the subscribers doing the 7-on-7, it's just such a force of habit. It's so hard to stay in scope mode the entire game because I had found myself when doing this constantly pushing that zoom out button and then back in on the scope. And I had to keep telling myself, like, no, I've got to stay in scope mode. So it's almost like this view, I felt like I was running around the map the whole time rather than almost like being in a tank. It was so different. So we're losing here on the supremacy points, trying to see what we can do just to get shots off, try to get rid of them. We're down 3, they're down 3. Now this is just a normal match. I just went into a normal match and I'm just doing scope mode by myself. And honestly, like for being in scope mode, I don't feel like I'm doing too bad. So unfortunately we didn't win that one. That one just did not quite go in our favor. The enemy team won with more supremacy points. So now shout out to a subscriber who had sent in this vid, and he's now going to just try scope mode the whole time. And I thought this was actually quite cool. Some other subscribers just taking on the challenge just to see what it would be like. And it, like kind of I was saying earlier, just adds this different perspective. Almost like this first-person shooter feel rather than like Blitz. It almost like changes the game a little bit when doing this. So, okay, looks like he's kind of going along, looking up at the high ground area. And he's doing his job. He's actually, I think, trying to get into a position to spot. But you can see just how, like, how you can only see like this one little area of the map that you're scoped in on. Like you can't completely tell what's going on around you except just like from what you're seeing through your scope. So okay, so he's getting hit. Okay, looks like they're starting to come up here. But here's the thing, yeah, it's like, is he in a good position? Is he in a bad position? He may not be doing too good here. Let's see if he can survive. Ooh, so he's able to get out of that one. Looks like he's maneuvering himself kind of around where these buildings are. It is such a different feel. Honestly, I think you guys should try it out. If if you guys just did scope mode, what do you think this would be like if you tried it? If you did try it, let me know in the comments below. I'd be super curious. Okay, so he's coming up here at the high ground. Maybe trying to get a different angle, different kind of perspective up here on the enemy. Maybe kind of trying to come up from behind. So, okay. So now he does have some visibility. Ooh, fortunate miss there. Okay, he is spotted, so he's definitely got to be careful. Doing a lot better than I did in my last game. Okay. So he's just trying to see if that T1 were to back up. Okay, that would not have been good to get hit by. So some enemies pushing up into the town. Trying to circle of death stuck in the scope mode, I can imagine would be pretty hard if you tried doing it. So his team's doing pretty good. It looks like he's gonna try and go up on the KV2. So let's see how this turns out. Oh, not the 152 derp cannon. Looks like he may even be AFK. So, but honestly, not bad. Did pretty good by staying in scope mode the whole time. And pretty good. I honestly had to actually get a couple games in before I was able to get through an entire game of not zooming out of scope mode on accident, just because of that force of habit. So great game. Thank you so much to my subscriber. And now we're gonna go and put 7v7 of subscribers into the same battle and see how they all perform. If it was a 7-on-7 battle, everyone stuck in scope mode, and just see how they do. So I've got spectator mode, just kind of watching and looking. Off to the right is a player's perspective. And it was funny just kind of seeing some of the things that they were saying, even when we did a few games of this, just how difficult it was. They couldn't see anything. It was really hard. And so I'm gonna just kind of see how these guys perform. And you can tell some of them have a hard time being aware of their surroundings. So it looks like one team's kind of pushing up over on one side here. They've kind of all met around the center of the map, taking some hits. And everyone is basically on this super like narrow scope mode, with not being able to kind of see exactly what's around them very clearly. Oh. You can kind of see me like how you're angled a bit just from that tank icon in the middle, which is helpful. So with some of these guys, it was even funny because when they were peeking up over hills or trying to come around corners, some of them would try looking all around to make sure if it was safe, and it was like really hard for them to see, and then they couldn't see something because of a blind spot behind a hill. Their scope view couldn't see, and they would pop up and get hit. It was actually quite entertaining to do. So honestly, like, fun subscriber requests. Want to thank all my subscribers for helping me with this. If you guys do want to help, I do a ton of just different random vids, challenge vids, historical recreation, ultimate showdowns, blitz experiments, all sorts of things. Shoot me a friend request. I'm on the NA server. Happy to have anyone help. Love to platoon with my subs as well. However, I'm kind of limited on time just between a family, job, YouTube, kids. So looks like we've got 3 down on one side, 1 down on the other. And honestly, they're not doing too bad. I'm actually quite impressed. And honestly, there is obviously an honor code system here for making sure you stay within the scope mode. Okay. Well, there's 3 tanks left on one side. You can see just how much this player is moving his turret back and forth from his perspective to try and get that view to make sure, like, okay, is there an enemy coming up? Is there, an enemy over here? He's trying to keep eyes on multiple perspectives, and he can only do that by like turning his turret completely or looking in that direction. So honestly, quite funny. So he's completely having to look back all the way just to see which tank is behind him, and then look back in front again to see what's going on in front of him. So honestly, definitely quite challenging, but thank you to those that helped out. Hope you guys enjoyed the vid. I honestly think these are quite fun, but this is the muffin here, and this is just kind of some of the feedback just in the chat room as I was asking some subscribers what they thought. A lot of them said it was an absolute terrible experience. So probably a good thing Blitz isn't that this way, but this is the muffin here. You guys stay cool and keep tanking.